The next thing we're going to talk about is multiplying or finding products. So finding a product is the result of multiplication. And a couple of things we want to remember: the product of powers property that we talked about on the front page, and also keeping our final answers in standard form. So if we just have a single term or a monomial that we're multiplying by a polynomial, we simply distribute that monomial to each term of the polynomial that's in parentheses. When we do that, we're going to get 2 times 2 is 4. And then remembering our product of powers property, that says that we add our exponents. So a 2 and a 3 is going to give me an x to the 5th minus 2x to the 4th, because 2 plus 2 is 4 on those powers, plus 6x to the 3rd, and then minus 10x squared. There are no like terms to combine. I have a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2, so we're done. The next thing that we want to look at is when we have a polynomial, in this case a binomial, and it's raised to a power. Remember that this is equivalent to x minus 7 times itself, times x minus 7. Please don't just simply say x and square it and negative 7 and square it. You're missing the middle terms if you do that. So let's look at 2 different ways to look at this. One is distribution, similar to what we just did, except that we have to do it twice. So I have x minus 7 times x minus 7, and I'm going to distribute the x to both terms, and then also distribute the negative 7 to both terms. When I do that, I'm going to get x times x, or x squared, a negative 7x. When I multiply the x times the negative 7, that takes care of the red. And then I want to move to the green. I'm going to have a negative 7x and a plus 49. I want to combine like terms here. So my final answer, let's see, I have an x squared, and that's the only x squared. I have 2 x terms, a negative 7x and another negative 7x, so those will become a negative 14x. And then finally, I have a plus 49, so plus 49. And that is my final answer. I do want to go ahead and show you a second method, and this method is the box method. You may be familiar with this from Algebra 1 as well. We also talked about the distribution and box method back when we were multiplying complex numbers, those imaginary unit numbers. If we're going to use box method, remember that we set up a box that has the same number of rows that we have in our first polynomial, 2. And we need the same number of columns, also 2, as the number of terms in our second polynomial. So now we write the terms of our polynomial, one on the left-hand side down it and the other one across the top. And now we simply look at where the terms intersect and we write the result here. So an x times x is going to give me x squared, and then x times negative 7 will be negative 7x. Then I have an x times another negative 7. That's going to give me that second negative 7x. And then finally, negative 7 times negative 7 is a positive 49. Notice that these 4 terms are the same as these 4 terms that we did in the distribution method. If you want to, go ahead and take the step of writing all of these terms down below. You don't have to. You can go ahead and combine like terms straight from the box if you'd like. So x squared minus 7x minus another 7x and plus 49. We're going to get the exact same thing. These are the same terms that we had before. So we're going to get x squared minus 14x and plus 49. I've made a note here because I want to make sure that you understand that you use either the distribution or the box method. You don't do both of these for any of the problems that we'll be looking at.